It's showtime. Oh no! Are you ready? Better luck next time. It's showtime. Double shot. Power shot. All right. It's showtime. It's showtime. Power shot. Yes. It's showtime. Power shot. Yes. Are you ready? Oh no! Are you ready? next time. It's showtime. Better luck next time. Are you ready? Double shot. Better luck next time. Are you ready? Double shot. All right. Are you ready? Oh no! It's showtime. Better luck next time. It's showtime. Better luck next time. It's showtime. Next time. Are you ready? Double shot. Yes. Are you ready? Double shots. Are you ready? Double shot. Better luck next time. Are you ready? Oh no! Are you ready? Double shot. Next time. Are you ready? Double shots. Are you ready? Double shots. Wide shot. All right. It's showtime. It's showtime. Better luck next time. It's showtime. Are you ready? Double shot. Are you ready? Double shot. It's showtime. Better luck next time. Are you ready? Double shot. Are you ready? Double shot. It's showtime. Better luck next time. It's showtime. Better luck next time. It's showtime. It's showtime. Better luck next time. It's showtime.